Mr. Board, Read and Listen Stories by Mumtaz Masood, illustrated by Zaira, age 7.
Mr. Bald. Once there was a man called Mr. Bald who had lost all his hair. Mr. Bald loved to rub oil on his head and make it smooth and shiny. There was a new movie out, and Mr. Bald really wanted to see it, so off he went to the cinema. But first he massaged his head with olive oil, which he thought was the best thing to make his head smooth and shiny. Mr. Ball sat in the front row. The cinema lights were bright, which made his head look extra shiny. Two friends, Bob and Sob, came and sat in the second row. Bob couldn't stop looking at Mr. Ball's shiny head. Bob thought that it would be very funny to tickle Mr. Bald on the head. I'm going to tickle the man on the back of his bald, shiny head, and he wouldn't even get cross with me, he said, giggling. You wouldn't dare, exclaimed Sob. If you do that and get away with it, I will buy you a cup of tea. Sob was very surprised when his friend calmly got up and tickled the stranger on the back of his head, saying, How are you, my friend? When Mr. Ball turned around, shocked more than anything else, Bob started to apologize. I'm so sorry. I thought you were my friend because, he looks exactly like you from the back. Okay, Mr. Ball said to Bob. You've made an honest mistake. Please go return to your seat. Mr. Ball saw that the people in the audience were quietly laughing. They were finding this incident funnier than the film, so he moved and went to sit somewhere else. Sob was very unhappy that Bob had got away with tickling this complete stranger. Sobbing, he said, Yes, but you can't tickle him a second time and get away with it. Do you want another bet? Asked Bob. Yes, said Sob, and this time I will buy you a cake as well as a cup of tea. Once again, Bob got up from his seat to where Mr. Ball was sitting and tickled the back of his head. This time Mr. Ball turned around, furious. I'm sorry, I hadn't realized you had moved seats. You see, my friend looks exactly like you from the back. Before Mr. Ball could get angry, a Sob stood up and confessed, I'm sorry, I was the one encouraging my friend to tickle you. It was the wrong thing to do. Could we make it up to you by buying you a cupcake and some tea? Mr. Ball sighed, but then smiled. Sure, he said happily.